Hello and welcome to the Irish Aesthete. Today I'm in one of my favourite country houses in Ireland, Tullynally in County Westmeath, and I'm going to be talking here to one of my favourite old friends, its owner Thomas Pakenham. I hope you enjoy what now follows. Thomas, you have lived how long here at Tullynally?
Well, it must be just over 60 years, because I came in 1961, so it must be 61 years.
Yeah, gosh, a long time. Now, your family, though, have been here. The Pakenhams have been here since a little earlier than that.
1655. They were paid off after the Civil War ended, and under Cromwell, they switched sides like any family who'd managed to keep their head above water. They switched sides from the king to Commonwealth, and then back to the king, of course.
Of course.
And then from one king to the other king. In other words, from Stuart to
Williamite.
To Williamite.
Exactly. And hence they managed to hold on here.
Because they were, I think they were always clever, adaptable, and stayed on the winning side. You ask how they do it, I mean, it's probably luck too.
I think there's always an element of luck in how long families do or don't survive. Of course, you know, they have to produce male heirs is another small factor. They
did produce male heirs. They also married an heiress, which, as you know, was part of the game. And she was called Elizabeth Cuff, and she came from Cuff Street in Dublin, and Angel Street and Longford Street. That was a family estate. And her great-great-uncle had been Earl of Longford in the 17th century and Master of the Ordnance. He was a very powerful man, more powerful than the Pakenham Earls of Longford. But the marriage brought in not only twice the money they had. I mean, their income went up from £2,000 a year to £4,000 a year, marrying the heiress. They also got a title thrown in, eventually Earl of Longford.
Ultimately Earl of Longford, exactly.
And an estate at Longford and in Dunleary, which eventually was to bring them wealth right into the 19th and 20th centuries. Yeah,
as that area developed. But let's just briefly talk about the development of the house here itself. Now, originally it was a late 17th century house?
Well, the only thing we know for certain is it's described as an old house in 1730. So does an old house in 1730
mean 50 or 100 years or what? Exactly,
And it seems to have been a house with two basic wings, and there would have been a courtyard where there's now a hall.
So it would have been a very classic house of the time, which you have the main house and you have wings that come out to create a forecourt in between. And that would have been the original form of the house.
And it would have been two-storey, and with the heiress's money, they changed everything by adding a third story. So by the 1780s, it was a fairly boring-looking Georgian block. And it wasn't till just in the 19th century, early 1803 or something, that they hired the fashionable architect of the day to make it a fairy castle.
And that was Francis Johnston.
That was Francis Johnston.
Okay, but he was succeeded by other architects who continued the transformation.
Two more who were his own contemporaries. And really, the first was, I think, an associate of his who probably worked in his office called James Shield. And he appears to have been the man who did the hall, Gothicized the hall. Johnson had left the towers and turrets, but Shield changed, and he also added the bay, which was given to the dining room to compensate for the loss of its
part of its site, as we shall see in due course, which went to enlarge the library. And then after Shield,
Morrison, who was at the end of his life and was again the same age really as the other two, and he added all those wings down there, which was the Dowager's wing that we see near here, and then beyond that various servants' quarters. So of course the servants outnumbered the family in the same way the servants' part of the house eventually came to look bigger than the family side of the house.
Yes, because this is now, I mean, it's not in a sense, first of all, it's not a real castle. No, it's a sort of fake makey-uppy castle.
Please, let's do. I remember every time I heard it, the word sham Gothic, I would
shudder.
Shudder. Neo-Gothic.
Neo-Gothic. Okay, so this is a neo-castle.
Yes.
Shall we call it?
Yes.
It's a neo-castle, and it's supposed to be the largest of its kind in Ireland.
Well, I'd never say that, but I
But
think
you're happy for other people to do
the
so.
largest of its kind means almost anything. But I think whatever PR man drafted that sentence was talking about it, still used as a family home. I think that's what they were saying. But
Yeah, and it is still used as a family home, and that's what makes it so special.
yes, there are very few. I mean, every year, of course, we lose another one. We've just lost Hove.
I know, very sadly. So we need to hang on to the Pakenhams at Tullynally for as long as we can. I think we should go inside and get some warmth, don't you?
Well, or else my declining years may decline even faster.
Let's go. And in the next episode, I'm going to be looking at the library here at Tullynally with its owner, Thomas Pakenham. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you so much for watching The Irish Aesthete. Goodbye.